what this map of Moscow is actually trying to say. This is a publicly available map of Moscow. At first glance, it looks familiar, even predictable. A dense center, rings radiating outward, major roads pulling everything towards a single core. But this map is not simply showing a city, it is communicating a philosophy of control, scale, and organization. The first thing the eye notices is geometry. Moscow is circular, not approximately circular, but deliberately so. This is not an accident of rivers or terrain, it is the result of centuries of layered planning where each expansion reinforces the same logic. The city grows outward, but it never lets go of the center. The center of Moscow dominates this map. All major arteries converge there. The radial roads do not merely connect neighborhoods, they connect function to authority. Jobs, administration, culture, and transport density all peak at the core. The map tells us immediately where importance is concentrated. Surrounding this core are successive ring roads. Each ring represents a moment in time when the city outgrew itself and chose to expand without changing its logic. Instead of creating secondary centers, Moscow reinforced the primary one. The rings exist to manage pressure, not to decentralize power. This tells us the intent of the map. It is designed to show order at scale. Moscow is too large to be intimate, so it is structured to be governable. Movement is channeled, growth is contained, and access is regulated through predictable corridors. One thing this map does exceptionally well is reveal hierarchy. You do not need a legend to understand which roads matter. You can see primary arteries, secondary connectors, and local streets immediately. This makes the map legible, even to someone who has never been to Moscow. That level of clarity is rare in megacities. The rings also act as psychological boundaries. Each ring feels like a threshold. Crossing one often means a change in the density, land use, and experience. The map shows these transitions as clean lines, even though in reality they are messy and uneven. What the map does not show is resistance. Every ring appears smooth, continuous, and efficient, but in practice, rings concentrate traffic. They become barriers as much as connectors. The map communicates flow, but it hides friction. This matters for decision making. A logistics planner might assume that ring roads allow easy circumferential movement. A developer might assume equal accessibility along a ring. In reality, access points, junction capacity, and congestion vary dramatically. The map simplifies these differences anyway. Another important layer hidden by the map is human scale. This is not a pedestrian city map. It is not designed to explain daily life. Side streets, neighborhood textures, and informal movement patterns are visually suppressed. The map privileges vehicles, not people. This tells us who the map is for. It is for administrators, planners, and operators who think in systems rather than experiences. It communicates manageability, not livability. The administrative boundary drawn here is also critical. Moscow's borders are not organic, they are political. The city expands by absorbing surrounding territories, often in large, deliberate moves. When the boundary shifts, infrastructure follows. The map reflects governance decisions as clearly as it reflects geography. Notice how the boundary wraps around the satellite towns and infrastructure corridors? This is not accidental inclusion, it is strategic. The city extends control over resources, labor, and transport routes by redefining what counts as Moscow. If we zoom out mentally, this map begins to look less like a city and more like a diagram. The center is a node, the rings are buffers, the radials are channels. This is systems thinking rendered spatially. If I were redesigning this map for modern decision making, I would not add more data. I would add one missing concept: resistance, where movement slows, where crossings are difficult, where the system strains under its own scale. A visual layer showing permeability across rings would immediately reveal which parts of the city are connected in theory and which are connected in practice. That distinction is invisible here, yet critical. This map succeeds because it is honest about intent. It is not pretending to be about community or daily life. It is about organization, reach, and control. It tells you how the city wants to function, not how it feels to live there. Once you understand that, the map becomes clearer. Moscow is not structured to dissolve into neighborhoods, it is structured to hold together at immense scale. Every ring reinforces that goal. This is why Moscow's map feels so deliberate, so confident, and so constrained at the same time. It shows power through order and order through repetition. And that is what this map of Moscow is actually trying to say. Thank you for watching Maps&Locations.com's video series. If you want a custom map developed for Moscow, or for any other city in Russia or in the United States, reach out to Maps&Locations.com and we can craft the perfect map for your business or personal needs. Thank you for watching.